For today's episode, I have a special guest who truly represents what it means to lead with purpose and heart. Marybeth Anglin is a proud Tampa native and currently serves as the Client Relations Specialist at Roches Surety and Casualty. With nearly a decade of experience, she's built strong, lasting relationships throughout the Tampa Bay area. She's also the 2025 president of the West Tampa Chamber of Commerce, and her leadership has not gone unnoticed. Marybeth was named Ambassador of the Year by the South Tampa Chamber in 2021 and most recently named a Rising Leader People on the Move by the Tampa Bay Business Journal in 2024. But beyond the titles, what truly stands out is her dedication to giving back through her volunteer work with Meals on Wheels, the FBI Tampa, and her consistent drive to champion businesses and community growth. Let's welcome Marybeth to the show. Welcome to At What Point, the podcast where we dive into the real, raw, and rewarding journey of personal and professional growth. I'm Catherine, your host, here to guide you through mindset shifts, powerful aha moments, and the resilience it takes to thrive no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're climbing the corporate ladder, taking the leap into entrepreneurship, or just looking for that boost of motivation, you are in the right place. Let's dive in.
I thank you so much for inviting me. And that was the sweetest to be on here. And that was the sweetest compliment I've ever received from anybody who was listening to your last podcast. I appreciate you for saying that about me. I can just only be me. But as far as who I am, I'm Marybeth Anglin with Roches Surety. I'm a client relations specialist. We specialize in everything from we specialize in surety bonds, but we specialize from construction bonds all the way to bail bonds. So it's kind of a variety. I've been doing that. I've been with the business for 9 years, and I kind of worked my way up from being a receptionist to where I'm at today. Just seeing what I could do, just seeing how I could be involved. How could I help the company grow? I even noticed things in the company that they were kind of lacking in a sense, such as like social media presence and things like that. And I was like, hey, I can help you with this. And my career's kind of just grown in that way. So
you are also a president of the West Tampa Chamber.
I am the current 2025 president of the West Tampa Chamber. I am a Tampa native as well. So I was born here. I'm 4 generations Tampanian and 7 generations Floridian, which you don't really find that nowadays.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I know that I know you because of the South Tampa Chamber of Commerce. And
you're on the board of the West Tampa Chamber as well.
Yeah. And we talk too much, as a small business owner and professionals in general about networking and the power of networking. And I can just say that this connection happened because of networking. I know that you are very involved in the community and your print is everywhere. So can you just tell us a little bit about how is that volunteer role and why do you decide to do this? Because it's like we always talk about, we have a lot of things on the plate, but now you have your job and your career. And on top of that, you have this heavy responsibility of being an amazing president for the West Tampa Chamber and the work that you do in the community. So how you get involved into these and why you do it?
Well, as far as the why, I kind of was raised to be this way in the sense that my grandmother lived in West Tampa. Her house is behind Jesuit. And even as a little girl, I was always with her. After school, she'd pick me up and things like that. And we would actually go. She would donate food to the homeless. We would go and take food to the churches and feed the homeless there. She also would make like bags for, it was Post Sunshine was a children's school back in the day. I don't know if it still exists anymore, but she would even just make them like little bags for the kids and things like that. She was always even just like picking up fruit and just asking people if they needed it. She was the type of person that if she even saw somebody walking along the side of the road pushing a baby and it was a hot day, she would be the type of person to pull over and ask them what they needed. So she kind of really instilled helping others and volunteering and for you to even thrive, your community needs to thrive. If you're not in a thriving community, and I feel that it kind of reflects on you as well, that you're not as happy if you're not in a safe, great environment, you're not going to feel safe and great yourself, if that kind of makes sense. So in a way, I care a lot about this place, especially because I am from here. And especially it is a place that there's not a lot of hometown Tampanians anymore. There's a few of us, but we definitely have a lot more people from out west or up north that have moved in and stuff. And so to me, I don't want us to ever lose that Tampa feel that we have and why people love us and why people keep coming. And I would say that my company also kind of, in a way, they also have that same belief, and they really encouraged me. Like, we always were, every other Friday, we would go out on a route and feed the elderly with Meals on Wheels. We did an adopt a route with our company. And we also were involved with the Boys and Girls Club and things like that. And so even like doing those things, it was like, ooh, I really like this. And my supervisor actually was already on the board of the West Tampa Chamber. And at the time we had joined South Tampa, and she goes, I'm doing West Tampa. Why don't you go over here and kind of market that area of our company? Because we had always been in bail bonds, but not surety bonds. So we were trying to let the community know that we were doing commercial surety bonds, such as construction bonds and things like that. So I went over there, and I don't know, after a year of being a part of there and meeting people and connecting with people, I actually had Rebecca Nault come up to me, and she goes, I think you'd be a great ambassador for the South Tampa Chamber. And after I ended up being there for a year with a team, and we were the Chamber Love Bombers, and we succeeded. And I ended up winning Ambassador of the Year that year. And South Tampa Chamber actually asked me to be their co-chair with Sam Summers. And me and him for 2 years were the co-chairs. But on my second year of co-chairing, West Tampa saw how great I was doing over there. And they asked me, would I be interested in joining their board? And so I was like, sure. So at one time I was actually juggling both chambers. And then after 1 year on the board, they asked me, would I be vice president? And so I kind of stepped over and just completely kind of started focusing on West Tampa and stepped away from my ambassador role over at South Tampa. And then now, after my year of VP, they asked would I be president. And so I'm here. That's how I made my way to the position that I'm in today.
That's amazing. One of the things that I know for sure that set you apart for the rest, and I say this because I'm in the different circles and different chambers and different networking groups, is the way that you make us feel, or make the people that is in that room feels. And I will say that that's one of the things that we don't see that much. And it's very important. And for the fact that you grew up like that, you grew up seeing your mom helping people, you want to create a safe environment. I believe that in the way that you are doing it as well, and maybe you don't realize, is creating that safe environment within the groups that you are part of. Because when you lead that environment, we feel welcome, and people that walk in the room feel that warmth. And that's I will say that that's one of your superpowers. And if you don't know yet, she's a young professional. So I cannot even imagine all the things that you can accomplish, like in your life, having that solid virtues and working ethic, because I see it every single time when I'm in a room with you. That being said, you mentioned you climbed the ladder, that you are at the company that you are right now, from the receptionist to where you are right now. How challenging was that process as a woman in that industry that I'm assuming, just assuming, that is predominantly by men? So you being young, how has been that process?
Yeah, I definitely can honestly say I'm sure that I've gotten like, who is this girl, from some people, like, where did she come from? Because it was all new to me as well. Like, if you would have told me I would have been doing surety bonds 11 years ago, I'd be like, what is a surety bond? But I figured it out, and they asked me, I I actually didn't want to even be in the bail bond industry per se. I wanted to do the commercial side. So I was doing that. And then I was doing so good in that. They were like, the bail is our bread and butter. So we want you to come over here. But as far as the difficulties of that is, life is hard and you got to just kind of pivot. And I guess the number one, not to make it all religious, but my number one prayer that I say to myself all the time is, let no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I think that's important. That, and to me, that also includes words that people say, because words hurt and they can be a weapon. And believe me, I've had people put me down because I was young, or they don't think that I actually don't even have a college degree. And I've actually been put down for not having a college degree. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about just because of that. It's not because I have not that I know what I'm talking about, because I have experience. And so to me, as far as the reason why I am the way that I am with people is because I don't want to treat people the way that they necessarily treat me. I treat people the way that I want them to treat me. Like, I mean, how they treat me, I'm not going to fight fire with fire. Like I said, I'm going to kill them with kindness. And so if you want to get anywhere in life, you can't let the words that people tell you or their hindrance, or we don't think that you would be good this year, but we'll let you do it next year. Well, you know what? I'm not going to wait till next year. I'm going to do it this year. It may not be with you, but it will be somewhere else. That's kind of how my mentality is, that I just can't let the noise get to me. And I don't want to be noise for other people either. And so that's just kind of how I live my life, is just trying to be a good person. I ain't a saint, definitely not one of those, but I definitely know that it's a struggle in this industry. And I know it's a struggle for everybody, especially young females. I'm actually, I think, the youngest president of the chamber currently right now. And I know and I'm totally grateful for it. And I'm so excited, and it's an honor. But I do know that there is some noise out there, like, who is this girl and stuff? Is she going to succeed or whatever kind of thing? And maybe she's doing too much, but at the same time, I just got to keep on trucking down the path that I know that I'm going on, and just block out and just have faith in yourself that the goals that you set for yourself, you're going to get there. It may take a while, and it may take a couple of no's and may have to go off the path, but you will eventually get back on the path if you have a goal in your life that you want. And sometimes you get goals that you didn't even know that you wanted either. So like I never thought I would ever be the president of the West Tampa Chamber, but eventually it became something that, yeah, I was interested. Did I think I was going to get it that fast? No. But whenever you put hard work, good things come to you, and you can't let others distract you.
There's so many things that you say, like so many great and amazing things that resonate, not only because you're young, but what people say to you. And if you're climbing a corporate ladder, there is always be a naysayer. There is always going to be a hard time. And the only way that they can just get down is because you allow you allow yourself that those words hurt you. I can talk by experience. Maybe I was not that young, but I have an accent. I moved to this country. I was in climbing the corporate ladder. Was not that because I didn't have a degree, but because I have to prove myself twice that I'm capable to do that role. And the same thing that you're mentioning, just because you're young and you don't have a college degree, that haven't stopped you. I also...
Yeah, we're just women. We have blocks just because we're women. That's a huge thing we have to get over, because it's like they say, it's a man's world, especially in the corporate world.
And I see so many young people or women my age that let that story to run, that story and held us back, and shouldn't be like that. It's because of how you're feeding that thought, and that story is what keeps people back and settle for things that they don't want to do. Can be a job, can be do whatever, relationships, but it's because of that rhetoric. And yes, it's hard, but as you say, maybe it doesn't happen in the way that you're trying to do, but you pivot. I also can say, like, I'm a member of the West Tampa Chamber. I'm with the board of directors, and I can see has been like wonderful presidents, but having a younger person is having like a different perspective. The way that you see things as a younger person and the impact in the community is totally different. The energy in the room. Also, the vice president is a young lady as well, right?
It's 25.
Yeah. So she's 25, but you guys have made an impact. And I can say that getting and sitting in that boardroom and listening to the things that you have to present hit different when it's a younger generation, especially wanting to lead in a city and keep that community in the way that you have that vision. And especially because I can hear the passion when you talk about Tampa Bay. So the other question that I want to ask you is, how do you stay grounded? Because you are the president of the West Tampa Chamber. Now you have your amazing role in your organization. How do you stay grounded?
Basically, how I stay grounded is that you still got to take time for yourself. And I do have a lot of hats, and I do, because I even do a lot of different stuff. I'm not just a client relations specialist for Roche. I've been with them for a long time. So I do wear a lot of hats, and I do have a lot on my plate. I will say at this time in my life, I'm not married or have children, so I definitely don't have that kind of thing. But I'm also just like everybody else. Sometimes it's nice to be home and put your feet up and not have to worry about an email or a text or do stuff like that. So I definitely say that making time for yourself, and also it's okay if that you do feel overwhelmed, ask for help. Hey, can you do this for me? And if not, try to see if there's somebody else or something. It's always okay to ask for help, but if you're one of those people that want to take it all on yourself, because sometimes I'm a control freak too, depending, I want it to be perfect, even though life isn't perfect. But I'm one of those people that you got to just stay true to yourself and just take some time, and health is wealth. So if you're stressed and you're letting everything consume you, you're going to make yourself sick, and then you're forced to stay. So I suggest just take like one day, especially out of the month or every couple of weeks, to just do nothing and just kind of reset and focus.
I love that. I love that, because what we see on social media is like when people talk about personal time or personal care, sometimes I get overwhelmed because you have to have your nails done, your massage, all these kind of things. So exactly. So, and that's great. But then you can still running outside to take your personal care. So having a day off, I love to do nothing. And I have to carve that time for myself to don't do nothing. But it's definitely a schedule. How do you get your ego in place? Like, check, I'm this young professional with these great accomplishments. That will be easy to become like
Too big for my britches kind of thing, get a big head on my shoulders.
Anglin. Yes, like, because you are the big deal. I'm sorry, but you're a young professional, thriving, doing all these great things, known by the community. There is no a place where I go that they don't know who you are, because you're so involved in the community. So that, like, well, and you will still being this humble, approachable, welcoming person. How you keep that ego in place?
I really I don't know. I guess my parents have always humbled me. So I still sometimes can't believe it. Sometimes I still feel like a kid, and I'm like, I need an adult. Like, who allowed me to be an adult? When did this happen? Like, I'm a Disney girl. Still love to go be a kid at Disney and stuff. So to me, whenever sometimes I'm even pinching myself in the middle of the board meeting whenever somebody's like, good idea, Marybeth. And I'm like, I did. Oh, thank you. Like, even people will be like, Madam President. And I'll be like, oh, that sounds nice. But also at the same time, like, who let me do that? So I don't know. I'm just me. So I'm grateful for it. And I am truly blessed, because most of the time people don't even get in this position until they're actually almost like retired, or they're towards the end of their career kind of thing. So I was fortunate that my company allowed me to do this at such a young age and stuff. So I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, I don't really know how to answer that because I don't know. I'm just me. I don't really have an ego, like in regards to like, I'm Madam President. I'm just not that type of person. Like I said, I'm still being like, how am I president? Or like, even whenever like people like city councilman, I'm like, Guido knows my name. Like I'm the mayor knows who I am. Or like the biggest one for me was actually Richard Gunsmart. Whenever he was like, hey, Marybeth, I'm like, because these are pillars in the Tampa community. And I still feel that way, even after meeting some of them so many times, or I have like a couple of pictures with them. I'm still like a little like pinch me, like, I can't believe I'm with them. So I'm just happy to have a seat at the table.
And I'm pretty sure that if they, especially big names in the community, if they get to know you, it's because your name has to be in conversations when you are not there, for the amazing work that you are doing and for being part of the community. And we don't see that much people, like younger people, doing that. So for you having that mentality based on the values that you have is something that's why probably they remember you. So outside of the working and the chamber and the networking events and all the things that you do professionally, what do you do? What are things that bring you joy besides doing nothing?
Well, Disney's one. I'm actually planning to go to Disneyland Paris for my birthday this year. But really just, I love going to concerts. I love going to the city and just all the new restaurants there's always something new you can try every weekend, a new brunch place and stuff. I love a good brunch, but just enjoying life and just really, I'm a travel girl, even whenever I travel for work on occasion, but even whenever I'm not working, I like to go travel myself, even if it's like a Florida on a tank full kind of thing. Like I love Cedar Key or going down to Sarasota and stuff. We just live in such a beautiful state and a beautiful world. And I personally just like to just live life.
That's good. That's amazing. What do you will say to women in particular that they feel that they are stuck and they want to thrive and they see you as a young professional that has all these accomplishments and they are still feeling behind?
I would say that there's even days that I feel that way. And even hearing you say that, there's still days that I have doubt in myself, but you also gotta have faith in yourself at the same time. It's okay to be down sometimes, but as long as that deep down, you're gonna lift yourself up and that you gotta, like I said earlier, if something, you're finding a roadblock and you wanted to go down this road, I guarantee you might just have to turn right a little bit or left, but you will eventually get back on that path to the road you wanted to be. And like I said, sometimes the road that you originally were on takes you on to another road that you actually end up finding out, oh, I like this road better. This is where I wanted to be. Like I said, I never thought I would ever even be in the surety bond business, much less be the president of the West Tampa Chamber. So I just got to say, just stay focused on what you want and it will get you to where you need to be in life. And don't let anybody's words hinder you from being who you are or continuing that journey in your life. If you want to be an attorney, I'm just throwing something out there. If you want to be an attorney and people are like treating you like you're Elle Woods, you're not smart. Look at what Elle Woods did. She went to Harvard. I know she's not a real person, but you know what I mean? Like you got to follow that kind of example that no matter people tell you no, you will get there. And then at the end of the day, you can be like it's hard back to them.
Yeah.
So, but at the same, you just gotta just stay true to who you are. That's what the people want. They don't want you to be fake. People don't like you because you have a Gucci bag or something or that's nothing. Being who you are and talking to the person and being real and just hello and just meeting people and because we're a wonderful community of all different people, and we're all supposed to be different, because if we were supposed to be the same, we would all came out the same. And so to me, just be true to yourself. And even if other people are wanting to be fake to you and stuff, just keep being you. And they can be fake to you, but you don't have to be fake to them.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here. And before we go, this was so much fun. You're a very smart young woman, and I can be more thankful to know you and to have the opportunity to meet you and to have your phone number and to go out for lunch.
Anytime.
You know, like things like that, because you inspire me. And that's one of the reasons also that I want you to be in my podcast, because I want people not just to know who you are and the person behind the West Tampa Chamber, the president of the West Tampa Chamber, and the wonderful things that you do, but also for them to feel inspired. One of the things is is my mentality that if we are able to succeed and we keep going, there is nothing special that you have or that I have that somebody else doesn't have, right? This is exactly like you say, you stay focused and you keep going. I love the analogy that you use a couple of times, like you keep going. Maybe you have, you're on the road, maybe you have to turn to the right instead to the left, but eventually you will go back on course. And that's the way that it is, especially if you want to climb the corporate ladder and put your foot in the community, making sure that you help others. And that's why I feel that you are so successful, because you are unique and you're grounded and you lead with purpose. And I just cannot wait to see what else the universe is going to bring to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And before we go, how people can get in touch with you? If somebody wants to meet you, or if they are in Tampa Bay, what is the best way to get to know Marybeth Anglin?
So, well, you can always find me at a West Tampa Chamber event for sure. But if you want to contact me, you can contact me through, I'm the only Marybeth Anglin, Anglin, and I'm the only Marybeth Anglin in Tampa. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can contact me anyway. And even if you need to contact me through the chamber, you may do so as well. You can go on our website and reach out to me that way as well.
Great. Thank you so much. And I will see you at the next event.
See ya. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining another episode of At What Point. I hope today's conversation sparked some inspiration for your journey of growth and transformation. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to visit catherinebeltran.com/podcast for show notes, special discounts on coaching packages, and freebies to help you keep moving forward. And last but not least, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a show. See you next time.